Good morning, students. I welcome you all on today's class. Students, we have already started the chapter number 9, My Unknown Friend, written by Stephen Leacock. In this chapter, we have already read till stanza 19 and I have explained you till 19. Now, today we'll continue with the reading first and afterwards I will explain you the whole stanzas. Okay, so let's begin with paragraph 20, which is on page number 93. So open your textbooks and start. No, he went on. I suppose you had hardly cared to. Not now, I said very gently. I understand. I beg your pardon, he said, and there was silence for a few moments. So far, I had scored the first point. There was evidently an old place somewhere to which I would hardly care to go. That was something to build on. Presently he began again. Yes, he said, I sometimes meet some of the old boys and they begin to talk of you and wonder that what you are doing. Poor things, I thought, but I didn't say it. I knew it was time now to make a bold stroke, so I used the method that I always employ. I struck with great animation. Say, I said, where is Billy? Do you ever hear anything of Billy's now? This is really a very safe line. Every old gang has a Billy in it. Yes, said my friend, sure. Billy is ranching out in Montana. I saw him in Chicago last spring. Weighing about 200 pounds. You wouldn't know him. No, I certainly wouldn't, I murmured to myself. And where's Pet? I said, this is also a safe ground. There is always a Pet. You mean Billy's brother, he said. Yes, Billy's brother Pet. I often think of him. Oh, answered the unknown man. Old Pet is quite changed, settled down altogether. Here he began to chuckle. Why Pet is married. I started to laugh too. Under these circumstances, it is always supposed to be very funny if a man has got married. My friend continued. I often meant to write to you, he said, his voice falling to a confidential tone, especially when I heard of your loss. I remained coy. What had I lost? Was it money? And if so, how much? And why had I lost it? I wondered if it had ruined me or only partly ruined me. One can never get over a loss like that, he continued solemnly. Evidently, I was plumb ruined, but I said nothing and remained under cover. Yes, the man went on. Death is always sad. Death? Oh, that was it. Was it? I almost hiccuped with joy. That was easy. Handling a case of a death in these conversations is simplicity itself. One has only to sit quiet and wait to find out who is dead. Yes, I murmured, very sad, but it has its other side too. Very true, especially, of course, at that age. As you say, at that age and after such a life, strong and bright to the last, I suppose, he continued very sympathetically. Yes, I said, falling on sure ground, able to sit up in bed and smoke within few days of the end. What? He said, looking confused. Did your grandmother? My grandmother? That was it. Was it? Like children, there is altogether confusion. Altogether confusion. The writer was saying something like he was saying anything blindly, but that man was answering everything with full of confidence. The writer was simply taking some names, and the man who had already entered, he was simply giving the details of those persons. So while talking and while discussion, the whole matter, the writer was totally confused that who the person is, because whatever names I am taking, that man is able to answer me for each and everything. So who is the person is? The writer is totally confused. Now see, then they started talking about the friend's brother, the family, some death in the family, and even the writer was surprised that who was dead in my family. So he said it must be your grandmother. She was very old. Then he started thinking, where was my grandmother? But everything is in his own mind. Now see, my grandmother, that was it. Was it? Pardon me, I said, annoyed at my own stupidity. When I say smoked, I mean able to sit up and be smoked too. A habit she had, being read to and being smoked too. Only thing that seemed to calm her down. As I said this, I could feel the train slowing down. My friend looked quickly out of the window. His face was agitated. Great heavens, he said, that's the junction. I have missed my stop. I should have got down at the last station, say Porter. He called out into the alleyway. How long do we stop here? Just 2 minutes, Ash, called a voice back. She's late now. She's making up Damon. My friend had hopped up now. He had pulled out a bunch of keys and was fumbling at the lock of the suitcase. I will have to wire back or something, he gasped. Whatever's matter with this lock? My money in the suitcase. My one fear now was that he would fail to get off. Here, I said, pulling some money out of my pocket. Don't bother with the lock. Here's some money. Thanks, he said, grabbing the roll of the money out of my hand. In his excitement, he took all that I had. He sprang from the train. I saw him through the window moving towards the waiting room. He didn't seem to be going very fast. I waited. The porters were calling, all aboard, all aboard. There was the clang of a bell, a hiss of steam, and in a second the train was off. Idiot, I thought. He missed it. And there was a $50 suitcase left on the floor. I waited, looking out of the window and wondering who the man was anyway. Then I heard the porter's voice again. He evidently was guiding someone through the car. Ah, looked all through the car for it. Shh. He was saying, I left it on the seat in the car there behind my wife, said the angry voice of a stranger, a well-dressed man who put his head into the door of my compartment. Then his face too beamed all at once with recognition. But it was not for me. It was for the $50 suitcase. Ah, there it is, he cried, seizing it and carrying it off. I sank back in dismay. The old gang, Pet's marriage, my grandmother's death, great heavens, and my money. I saw it all. The other man was making talk too and making it with a purpose. Stung. The next time that I fall into talk with a casual stranger in a car, I shall not try to be quite so extraordinary clever. So, children, this was the lesson. Okay, so today we have completed the whole reading. Now, in the next part, I will explain you the lesson from paragraph number 20 till the end. Thank you, everyone.